Football wins their first game of the spring season.
And women's tennis sweeps the weekend.
All this and much more coming up next on the Penguin Rundown.
Oh, there we go.
I think there's always a delay when we do the intro.
Yeah.
With the fight song. Welcome into the Penguin Rundown. Richie Giuliano alongside Abigail Cloutier. Abigail, it was a great weekend for Youngstown. Stayed a couple of sweeps. Women's tennis got the sweep. YSU baseball did, as well as the football team picking up their first win. It was a big homecoming weekend for the Penguins.
Yeah, absolutely. As you said, football had the best weekend, best homecoming you could have hoped for, and I think you're going to get it started.
Yep. The YSU football team picked up their first win of the season at the homecoming game last Saturday, defeating South Dakota 28-10. The team was firing from all cylinders after taking the early lead in the first quarter. Leading the rushing attack was junior running back Jaleel McLaughlin, who ran for 166 yards on 28 carries. Freshman quarterback Mart Wade completed 9 of 13 passes and included a touchdown in his performance. Senior Christian Turner contributed to YSU's offense, scoring 2 touchdowns in the game, catching a pass in the first quarter and running one in from 38 yards in the fourth. The YSU defense also had a strong performance, as the defense line posted 5 sacks in the contest, with sophomore Griffin Hoke earning 2 of his own. The defense also forced South Dakota to turn over the ball 3 times, including 2 fumbles and an interception. The team is now 1-4 heading into their last home game of the season, where the Gwins will battle the North Dakota Fighting Hawks. Kickoff is set for 12 p.m. and can be heard on 570 WKBN. For tickets and more, go to YSUsports.com.
The women's tennis team took on the Cleveland State Vikings at home this past weekend. On Saturday, the Penguins defeated the Vikings 5-2 by winning the doubles point and taking 4 singles matches. Elvira Esteo and Cecilia Rosas won their doubles match 6-2, and Tamara Tuaful and Eliska Mariskova won their doubles match 6-4. Singles wins were picked up by Masaryakova, Jessica Stanmore, Rosas, and Esteo. On Sunday, YSU completed the sweep and beat Cleveland State 5-2 for the second straight day. The Penguins won 2 of the 3 doubles contests and earned wins in 4 singles matches. The women's tennis team is now 11-7 overall and 4-0 in Horizon League play. The women return to action this weekend as they travel to Oakland on Saturday and Sunday.
The women's soccer team dropped an overtime decision on the road to Purdue Fort Wayne last Wednesday by a final score of 2-1. With the loss, the Penguins fall to 0-6 on the year. Youngstown State's only goal came from sophomore Marcella Sizer early into the match. This goal became Sizer's 3rd of the season, and the Gwins will host IUPUI Panthers yesterday at Farmers National Bank Field. For the recap of that game, check out YSUsports.com, as well as the soccer team will travel on their last road trip next Wednesday when they visit the Wright State Raiders. Kickoff is set for 1 p.m.
Women's bowling took to the lanes this weekend at the SBL Championship. To start off on Friday, the ladies lost 1-2 versus Sam Houston, but they put up a good fight. The Crusaders were next on the agenda, and the Gwins showed no mercy by following up with a 2-0 win. This brought the ladies into Saturday to take on Arkansas State to finish off the championship. The women fell against the Red Wolves, but kept it close the whole way through. They earned a respectable 1,029 pins in traditional play, but Arkansas bit back with 1,055 to take a close win. In Baker's play, the Gwins kept a 9-pin gap into the last 2 games, but unfortunately fell short in the end. This brought the Gwins to a 1-2 record with a tie for 5th place, failing to advance to Sunday. The women will be seen back on the lanes April 7th for the NCAA regional rounds. Next up, Kyle Wills takes a look at the season's transfers at the roundtable.
Thanks, guys. Over the last several weeks, many YSU athletes have entered the NCAA transfer portal, and largely due to the fact that there is a new one-time transfer rule that has been put into place. And that rule states that all Division I athletes are eligible to transfer and compete without suffering the penalty of sitting out. And one of the programs that has been heavily affected by the transfer portal has been the women's basketball team, as three of the 5 starters have entered the portal, those being freshmen standout Nneka Obiizer and seniors McKenna Peters and Mary Dunn. This past season, Obiizer averaged over 15 points per game, shooting just under 50% from the field and over 42% from three. And on the glass, she averaged over 8 rebounds per game, and over the course of the season was Horizon League Freshman of the Week 4 times, and her performance over the course of the season led her to be Freshman of the Year, as well as All Horizon League 3rd team. Mary Dunn, on the other hand, averaged over 16 points per game, shot over 51% from the field, and averaged just under 6 rebounds per game. And she's going to be entering the portal with 1 year of eligibility left. The other senior is going to be McKenna Peters, who didn't light up the stats like Obiizer and Dunn, as she averaged just over 9 points per game, over 38% from the field, over 34% from beyond the arc. But the team's going to miss her leadership that she had for this past season, as whenever the team was in adversity, she always seemed to bring the team together and really was the gel of the team for this year. Another program that's going to be affected by the portal is going to be the men's basketball team, as junior Darius Quisenberry has entered the portal, and he entered the draft last season and came back for this season after being named Horizon League first team last year. And this past season, in his injury-plagued season, had just under 15 points per game and just over 3 assists per game. Another program that is going to be affected is going to be the football team, as 4 players from the team have entered the portal, one of them being junior defensive end Antoine Cook, who this season had 17 tackles and 3.5 sacks and had a lot of playing time last year and was really one of the leaders for the defensive front this past season. And Coach Doug Phillips mentioned how he can't really control the players that have entered the portal, and he can only control what he can control. And with going into next year, there's a lot of uncertainty between the athletic programs, and hopefully in the future, things will become more clear. Let's send it back to Richie and Abigail.
Thanks, Kyle. Well, the Youngstown State baseball team hosted the home opening series this past weekend as they took on St. Bonaventure. The Penguins got off to a good start and won the home opener 6-4. Jeff Whaler broke the game wide open in the 7th with a 3-run blast to left field, and Youngstown State now has won the home opener twice in the past 3 seasons. In Game 2 of the series, the Penguins rallied late in the ballgame to score 6 runs in the 7th and 8th inning to take down the Bonnies 7-1. Steven DeSanio and Philip Glasser each had 2 hits and 2 RBIs, and the game of the weekend was the series finale on Sunday. Youngstown State had 21 hits, and 11 out of the 12 batters that came up to the plate reached with a single or greater. Youngstown State scored runs in every inning but one and swept the series in Game 3 by a final score of 22-6. Blaze Glenn exploded for YSU as he was 5 for 6 at the plate while tying the school record with 5 runs scored. Glenn hustled out 3 doubles and tallied 2 RBIs in his breakout performance. YSU will stay at Eastwood Field this weekend as they take on top Horizon League opponent Wright State. First pitch is scheduled for 5 p.m. on Friday.
Following the cancellation of the 4-game series against Detroit Mercy, the softball team played a doubleheader against St. Francis on Saturday, followed by another against Dayton on Sunday. On Saturday, the women dropped both games of the doubleheader at the YSU softball field by the scores 8-0 and 7-3. After making the trip to Dayton, YSU split the doubleheader against the Flyers, losing 7-3 in Game 1 and winning 9-8 in Game 2. Senior Milena Lectena hit a 2-run pinch hit home run in the top 7th inning to lift Youngstown State to victory to snap their 4-game losing skid. The Gwins then hosted Northern Kentucky in another doubleheader this past Tuesday. For the scores on those games, check out YSUsports.com. Up next for YSU is the Purdue-Fort Wayne Mastodons. The team will play 2 doubleheaders, one tomorrow and one on Saturday.
The volleyball team finished out their spring season this past Monday, playing 2 straight matches in a doubleheader against the Oakland Golden Grizzlies. The Gwins would come up close to multiple set wins, but were ultimately defeated in both matches 3-0. Coach Alini Scott for Youngstown State would dress and play 18 different players in these matches, including freshman Amber Morris, who appeared in her first collegiate start, while sophomore Lauren Lask made her Youngstown State debut. In the first match, sophomores Nadia Pace and Josie Borum led YSU offensively with 7 kills. On the defensive end, senior Margot Thompson and junior Alexia Burns collected 19 and 16 digs respectively. Following the doubleheader, Thompson moved to 4th place in YSU's career dig category with 1,239 after posting 27 digs on the day. In the second match, junior Amanda Lebiota, Josie Borum, and Nadia Pace all contributed 6 kills to the loss. This would be the last and final match for seniors Libby Darling, Alyssa Oswald, and Margot Thompson. The team finished their hard-fought season 3-11.
This past Friday, the women's lacrosse team fell to Central Michigan 17-4. Freshman Callie Vaudry notched her second multi-goal game of the season, finding the back of the net twice during the game. The Penguins were led by freshmen Lauren Onsmeyer and Jordan Miller as they were credited 2 other scores. Senior goalkeeper Alicia Wells tallied 15 saves during a 60-minute outing in the cage, upping her total to 39 on the year. Freshmen Aris Lindsay and Wells notched a team best 3 ground balls apiece. Onsmeyer has tallied a total of 8 goals to this point in the season. The women's lacrosse team will be back in action again on March 28th against in-state rival Kent State. They will compete in their 2-game homestand at Farmers National Bank Field. The game can be seen on ESPN3 and ESPN+. First draw is scheduled for 2 p.m.
It's now time for our Play of the Week. It comes from Stambaugh Stadium, and Monica Kurjan has more on the Play of the Week.
Thanks, guys. This week's Play of the Week goes to Christian Turner of the football team. Let's check it out. Mark Wade gets the snap and hands it off to Christian Turner, who finds a hole in the middle and rushes 38 yards for his second touchdown of the day. Let's take another look at it. Turner pushes through the middle and manages to outrun the defenders and find himself in the end zone for YSU's last touchdown of the day. This performance pushed YSU to their first win of the season, 28-10. Congrats to Turner and the whole football team. Richie and Abigail, back to you.
Thanks, Monica, and congratulations to the Youngstown State football team on their first victory of the spring season. And that'll do it for us here at the Penguin Rundown. Be sure to check out YSUsports.com for weekly updates and follow us on social media on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. That is all at Penguin Rundown 1. I'm Richie Giuliano.
And I'm Abigail Cloutier.
We'll see you next week, Penguin Nation.